Hello everybody, it's Wendy, and today I have a pretty little necklace and possibly a pair of earrings. I'm using some beads from Sam's Bead Box and Bargain Bead Box. So first of all, our encouraging word for today is Enthusiasm Moves the World, and that's by Arthur Balfour. Alright, so I thought these Moonstone beads in Sam's Bead Box this month were so pretty, and I wanted to do something with them that is not real... I don't want to say fancy, just kind of simple because I wanted to showcase them and the beauty that they're just gorgeous. So I'm arranging them here in size if I can. So they're kind of, some of them are bigger than others, so I'm just trying to arrange them to where I have the biggest ones in the middle and then going out from there to the smallest ones. And that looks pretty good. Okay. So I kept out 4 of the bigger ones for some earrings. We may do the earrings too. I don't know. We'll see how far we get. And then I have some, these I think are called like wheel beads. I don't know where I got these. I think I got them like at AliExpress or somewhere like that. But they're really pretty, sparkly AB, faceted on the edges. And they look really pretty mixed in with these, I think. And then I have this strand of hematite spacer beads that I got from Bargain Bead Box, and I'm going to use those. And then I have some rhinestone rondelles that I got from Bargain Bead Box. Going to use those. I have some 3mm spacer beads, just in a silver. I don't know where I got these. I've had them for a long time. I have a toggle. I have 2 clamshell connectors, 2 jump rings, and 2 crimp beads. And then I have a length of Coriana chain, and this length of Coriana chain I believe is about 23 inches. We're gonna see. So, well, maybe 24. So here's one. Yeah, it's right about 24 inches. I'm probably gonna cut it to be about 22 inches to 23. I like these kind of necklaces to be just a little shorter. So, actually, I'm going to go down to about 19. Okay, or 20. That's about 20 inches right here, I believe. Let me make sure. So I've got 12. Let's see, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. About 21 inches. And that's where I'm going to leave it for now. Okay, so what I like about this Coriana chain is you can bead right on it with a lot of beads. Now, the gemstone beads sometimes will not go on. They're a little tricky. So I'm going to see, and these may not work on here. I may end up having to use bead stringing wire or reaming these out a little bit. I could ream these out a little bit, but I don't really want to. I'm kind of afraid that I would break them. So I'm going to switch up here and just pull out my bead stringing wire because, whoops, I don't want to take a chance on breaking any of these beads. There's not a whole bunch of them as there is, so I don't want to take a chance on breaking any. So let's put that aside. That's going to screw, maybe not. I was going to say that's going to screw up my earrings, but maybe not. So I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to cut about 20 inches of the bead stringing wire. 20 to 21 inches. This is about 21. So 21 inches of the bead stringing wire. And then I will need a couple wire guards. Let me pull those out. I'm sorry. I was really hoping that those would fit on the Coriana chain, but I just remembered kind of belatedly that a lot of gemstone beads don't. Some do, some don't. You can ream out some, but I just don't want to mess any of these up, I'm afraid. Okay, so I have my crimps. You will not need your lobsters now. And I have my wire guards. And what we're going to do is I'm just going to start in the middle. So I'm going to take this bigger piece here. I'm going to put it right in the middle. And like I said, I want this to be simple, but I want it to be sparkly and pretty. And I just wanted to showcase these Moonstone beads. They're so pretty. So look at that together. It's beautiful. And then I'm going to do the next 2. And I'm not going to put one of these between every bead. I don't have enough to do that. And I don't really want to use that many of them on here, so I'm going to do another Moonstone. And then I think I will do one of these. So I'm just adding in little bits of the metals and the sparkle. Not a whole lot, but just enough to kind of give it some interest. Okay, then I'm going to go with my next 2 Moonstone beads. Okay, just like that. And then I'm going to do a rhinestone rondelle. Okay, probably 2 Moonstone beads on each side. And then I'm going to do this other wheel. And I've got one for the other side, and then I'll have one extra that I probably won't use, but that's okay. All right. Moonstone bead. Moonstone bead. And we'll do this guy. Just like that. Moonstone bead. One on this side. I forgot about my spacer beads. I was going to use those. I completely forgot them. I don't think I need them in this part though, honestly. How's that looking? I'm not really liking the rhinestone rondelles in there. For some reason, I just don't think they look right. So I'm going to pull this off. And I'm just going to do this with these in the, let me get these out here again. These and the hematite. For some reason, I'm not liking the rhinestone rondelles. Normally, I would love them, but I don't know. It's weird. So I'm going to do 3 Moonstone beads, like this, after that hematite. So hematite, 3 Moonstone beads. The next wheel bead. And then I'm going to do a hematite bead right beside that wheel bead. Okay, Moonstone. Both sides. It's hard to find the middle. Little hole in these sometimes. Moonstone. Another one. Hematite bead. Hematite bead. Moonstone. Moonstone. And I've got 3 left, so I'll do these 2 on this side. Come on. Got one of those. Okay, and then I will do hematite bead and a spacer bead. Hematite bead and a spacer bead. Okay, so now here's what I've got. Which I kind of like, but I kind of don't like, you guys. Okay, so you get to see the creative process when it fails, which it just did. So I didn't like any of those darker beads on there. It looked weird. So what I've done is I've gone into my teeny tiny beads. These are called True Twos. They're very sparkly and very pretty, and I think if they'll fit on this wire, I'm going to use them. I pulled out a few of these little AB rondelles, and then these I just ordered from Bargain Bead Box. They're an AB coated clear, kind of white clear spacer. I'm going to see how they work in the middle of all this, okay? I don't know, I just really want to keep it simple and pretty, and I don't feel like it was looking too simple and pretty. So we're going to put the middle bead back on. I know you guys are like, what the heck are you doing? Okay, I don't know, really, I don't. And then I'm going to do one of these on either side. I just think it was too, I had too much dark going on with the hematite, and I just don't know, it wasn't working out. So I'm going to do 2 more moonstone beads. We'll see how this looks. I love these, and I really want to use them and just showcase them, but they definitely need some sparkle in there, I feel like. So do the wheels. See, that looks so much better, I think, than all that gray, the silver and the gray in there. Just didn't look good. Sometimes it does. I mean, normally I love silver and gray, but today, no. Wasn't meeting the quota or the standard that I needed to meet today. So I'm going to do those 2, and then I'm going to do 2 more of the moonstone. Okay, that's good. Now, let's do I want to do 2 more of these. See, those wheel beads are so much prettier than even those. So here we go again. Fail, creative process, fail. Okay, now I've decided I don't even want to use these. Alright, we're going back with just the wheel beads. So we're going to go here. I know, y'all, I'm sorry, I really am. We're going to go here. I'm going to do a wheel bead on each side. And then I may do one of these little guys. Let's see what that would look like. Because I really do want the sparkle in there, but sometimes you just have to, sometimes this is what it takes to design. You just really have to try things, see how they look. Now that looks really pretty so far, but when I add these in, is it going to look as pretty? No, because that's just too big right there. So these guys come off. And we're down to just the moonstone beads and the wheel beads. Alrighty. So that's what it's going to be. Moonstone bead, moonstone bead. Moonstone bead. Another moonstone on this side. Let's see, that's a big one. Wheel bead, wheel bead. And I only had a few of these little wheel beads. I wasn't even going to put any on the earrings that I was going to make. So, you know, I had an odd number. I only had 5. So 4 of them are going on there. This one's just going to be lonely. And then we will do moonstone. You know what, though? I maybe ought to spread these out a couple more because I've got several more moonstone beads. So let's do that. Let's do 3 moonstone beads and then a wheel bead. This necklace is turning out to be a lot harder to design than I thought it was going to be. I was like, oh yeah, quick and simple. This will be so easy. Yeah, no. It's not happening. Now we'll do the wheel beads. Okay, that's better. Oops. I wish I had just one more of those, but I do not. Do not. Alright, now we'll do some moonstone. We'll go 1, 2, 3, 4, on here. It does look really pretty though. I'm going to do another one. And another one. I'm trying to get through most of the big ones, and then I might be able to do some of these guys. So let me see now if I put him on, and then another moonstone bead, what it's going to look like. That's okay, I think. Let's try that on the other side. So we'll do him and a moonstone bead. Because it's tapering down, not looking quite so large, you know, the moonstone beads are. That's pretty. Okay, let's add one more. One more on this side. Another one of these guys. On both sides. Come on now. And this guy I'm going to set out because I only have three left, an odd number. So I'll do one more of those. One more of these. One more of each of these. More of each of these. And that, I have another one of each of those. Do I want to use that and then go into, I could. So I'm going to do one more since I have these little rondelles. I could put these on the earrings though. I may do that. I may save those two for the earrings because the earrings don't have any of the wheel beads. So I do need to save those for the earrings. Okay, so we've got, these aren't going to get used. So now we've got all these little true twos. And I really hope that they will fit. They do. So these will be really pretty to just put on the wire now. They will add a lot of sparkle. See that? That's going to be really pretty. Add a whole lot of sparkle. So I hope I have enough to do. If not, I may end up having to add some chain here in a minute. But I'm going to just fill up both sides of this wire as much as I can with these little true twos, okay? So I'm just actually, you know, hopefully I can fill both sides all the way to the top, but I don't know if I can. So, but I am going to pause it. You could use, if you don't have true twos, you could use AB seed beads. You could use a little just clear seed beads. You could use metal spacers if you wanted, like the little metal round. I just, for some reason, the silver was not looking right to me for some reason on this. I don't know. But you could do that. So, you know, there's lots of different things you could do. But I'm going to use these little true twos, and I'm going to see how much farther I can fill up, and I'll be right back. Okay, so I'm back, and I have strung these both up and put a bead bug on so I wouldn't drop them all off. But I don't know how many it took for each side. I have a bunch left over. But it, again, just depends upon how, you know, how long you want your necklace to be. Will totally depend upon how many of these you use. So here it is. I am going to stick a bead bug on here, so again, I don't drop it off, and I'm going to crimp this side. So what I'm going to do is take my crimp bead and put it on, my wire guardian, and put it on. Now these beads are so small that I don't think my wire will go back down through any of them. You all know I like to do that, take my wire back down through, but I think these are too tiny for that. So going back down through the crimp bead, pull that up, and then we'll see if it will go through. I'm just pulling it down a little here. Now let me see if it'll go through any of these again. No, it's just, well, maybe it will. No, it's just too tight, and I don't want to take a chance on breaking those, cracking the bead. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to pull this down just a little. I'm going to take my pliers and bend this that wire guardian in. Now on this side it's kind of nice because you don't really have to worry about having this pulled up yet. You know, you can just crimp this down. So I'm going to take my crimpers, put the crimp bead right in. I pull down on the wire so that it's not sticking up here, and then I crimp that down, and then I'm going to turn this sideways. and I'm going to close it up. And you just want to make sure it's closed up really good and that your wires, you know, are neat. And I'm going to trim it off because it won't go down through any more of the beads. So I'm going to trim that off, and then I'm just going to scoot this up. Okay, just like that. Now I'm going to do my other side. And same thing, putting my crimp bead on. Okay, let me move some of these things off and see if I can zoom this in so y'all can see me do this just a little better. Okay, so I've got my crimp bead on there. Now I'm going to put my wire guard on. So I just come up and over like this. I'm sorry if it's hard to see what I'm doing, but this is kind of fiddly. There's not a whole lot I can do about it. Okay, and then I'm going to go back down through my crimp bead right here with this tail. Okay, just like that. Now, you want to get it like this. Then I'm going to bend this in with my crimping pliers. I just like to do that. I think it makes it look neater. And then I'm going to pull on this tail while I'm holding my wire guard. Now, I want to get everything tight. I don't want there to be any loose spaces in here. But I don't want it to be so tight that it looks strange and doesn't, you know, isn't able to bend. So that's a fine balance. You have to really kind of know where that line is on your own jewelry making, like your tension and stuff. So it just comes with some practice. But again, I'm pulling that. Okay, now I'm going to take my crimper and laying this in here, and you got to be careful that you don't crack this bead, okay? Because you could crack that bead if you're not careful when you do this. Just be real careful when you lay that in there and you smash it down that you don't crack that bead. Then I'm turning it sideways. I'm going to close that crimp up. And there it is. Now I'm just going to trim this off. And there we have it. Okay, let me zoom out again. There we go. Okay, now I'm just going to take my toggle, and I'm going to take my little jump rings here. Now I am going to zoom back in again and show you this, because I've had a lot of people ask me about how to open jump rings. So you have your jump ring here. As you can see, this jump ring has a little slit right there. See that slit right there? You take your pliers and grab it on either side of that little slit. Now watch how I move this back and forth, okay? And I'm sorry if it's blurry, it's kind of hard. I'm up very close. Back and forth. I don't pull open this way. I do it back and forth. So watch this one more time. See how I close it up? Open it up. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this around my wire guard. I'm going to put my toggle on, and then you want to close it up with that same back and forth movement, just like that. You can actually feel the metal rubbing against itself, and that's how you know that your jump ring is closed really well, and you're not going to have things falling off, okay? It's very important. If you pull it open the other way, you're going to end up warping your jump ring, and it's not going to close as well. So here we have it again. Back and forth, I open it, okay? Put this on, and then I'm going to close it back up just like that, and I can feel that metal rubbing against itself. All right, and that is how we open and close our jump ring. And then we put on our toggle, or close our toggle, and there we have it. It's a beautiful, very simple, sparkly, just really pretty little necklace. I really like this. So now, let me make sure I'm out all the way. Whoops, sorry. We're going to do the earrings. And I had the Coriana chain laid out here. I was going to do them that way. Obviously, I switched that up. So here's what I've got. I've got the two little rondelles. These are these rondelles that we used in here. I have 4 of my Moonstone pieces. I have 2 clamshell connectors. I think that I'm still going to use these. I have 4 size 2 crimps. I'm not sure I'm going to use all 4, but possibly. I have 2 jump rings, and I need to grab out some ear wires. So I'm just going to do 2 fish hooks, because that's what I have here close that are easy to get to. So I've got 2 fish hooks, and I have, again, my bead stringing wire. So what I'm going to do is cut a small amount of my bead stringing wire, a very small amount. I don't want a whole lot. I want to be able to have it do this, okay? Circle around a little bit. So I'm going to cut, tell you guys how much I did here. It's about 2.5, probably 3 inches maybe. Yeah, right at 3. So 3 inches. And then I'm going to take this one, line it up with this one, and cut the same amount. 3 inches. Okay, set that aside. Now, what I'm going to do here is I'm going to bead these up pretty much the same way that I did my necklace. So I'm going to take, but I don't have the wheel beads. I wish I did, but I just don't. So I'm going to take one of the Moonstone beads, one of my little rondelles, another Moonstone bead, just like that. And then I'm going to do both sides of my bead stringing wire pretty much all the way up to the top, to where I'm going to crimp. And I'll show you here in just a second. This is a little fiddly. You have to be really careful not to drop these beads off once you get them on, and it's not easy to do. So I'm going to bead mostly up this side. And then I'm going to throw a bead bug on here like this. And then I'm going to do this side. Bead bugs are the best invention in the entire world, I believe. They just make life so much easier when you're working, especially on small things like this. Bead bugs are awesome. I don't know who invented them, but I bow to you because, yeah, it's a great invention. Saved me many times. Not even just one many, but many. All right, now I'm going to pull this up. I've got a couple more on this side than I do on this side, so let me add maybe 2 more over here. And you notice I don't count them. You can if you want to. I am not that technical with it. These are mine. I'm not going to be selling them. If I was selling them, I would probably count them. And watch me drop them all off. Again, yep, see, bead bugs are a very good invention, and I'm not liking the way that the wheel, or the Moonstone beads are looking with that rondelle in between. I don't like that. So I know y'all hate me when I do this, but I'm going to take this off. I'm going to put this Moonstone bead on beside the other one. And that still, I don't like that. I know I could put one of these in between it, but I just don't like the way it's looking like that. I don't like the way it's laying. So, what would it look like with just one? Let's hold that up against the necklace. I mean, it would be okay. I wish I had one more of these, but I do not. So, and I really want to do this kind of a loop look. I think I am just going to do it like this and see. I mean, it's not ideal. It's not really what I would want, but I don't have any more of these guys. Not enough to do 2 on each one. Or I would do them on the outside of the Moonstone beads. And I don't have another wheel bead. So, you know, when you run into something like this where you're just kind of stuck and you don't have enough of anything to do exactly what you want, you just kind of have to go to plan B. So I think I'm just going to do them like this. And that's not so bad. I mean, it's not really what I wanted, but it does look pretty good with that. So let's go ahead. When I bend the wire, it makes the moonstone beads look weird. And I don't want that. So I'm just going to go, I'm just going to do it like this. So I'm beading up each side. And I want to get it even on each side, so I need to add a few more over here. It would be so smart of me right now to put that bead bug on, but I'm just trying to hold it with my fingers. And if I drop it again, I swear I'll pause the video so y'all don't have to be super frustrated. Okay, how's that looking? That is even. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to press these two together. So let's get the ends lined up. Make sure it's even, and they are. Well, actually, that side needs one more bead. Okay. You can pretty much tell when you line your ends up and then lay your, you can tell if they're even or not, and this one now is. All right, so I'm just pressing these two together like this. And I'm going to take the crimp bead. Well, first I'm going to take the, clamshell. Put it right on here. Put both through there, okay? This is very, very fiddly. You really have to be careful here when you're doing this, but it's going to be pretty. And you don't have to use as many beads as I did. Like if you wanted it to, if you wanted more wire to work with here, that would probably be smart. Okay, now what you can do, let me do this. Grab these two ends again. Okay, what you can do that might be a little easier if you're having trouble like I am, is take your plier, your crimper, or any of your flat nose plier, and just hold this together. Make sure that it's even. And mine's not. You want it to be even. That's very important. And I don't edit out the struggles. I want you guys to see that we all struggle. Doesn't matter how advanced you are, how not advanced you are, we all do. So now I can take this and hold it, and I can grab up here with my plier, like that, scoot that down, that little thing, what do you call it, lobster, or clamshell. I always get clamshells and lobsters confused. Grab this again with your plier. They have to be together. See how mine are really kind of apart? They can't be apart. Now, it does help if you want to open up this clamshell a little bit so you have a little more room to work in there. You can do that. And I'm just going to try to get these two together like that. And then what I need to do is get my crimp bead on. So there we go. I got them together. I'm going to put the crimp bead on. It's not easy. It's very fiddly. You just have to be very, take your time and, just be careful. All right, get it down there to where it is at the bottom, and you don't want any loose wire showing. You want to get it down to the bottom and just flatten it, okay? You don't have to worry about crimping it correctly. Just flatten the thing because then you're just going to close the clamshell over it, And I actually pulled out 2 crimp beads for each one. So what you can do is put a second crimp bead on. And this one will be a little bit easier because we've already got one on. And when you do that, it'll just reinforce that it's crimped down. You can also use some glue on the inside of this clamshell if you want to. I used to do that a lot, but I don't do it so much anymore because I've not had any trouble with them coming open. So I said this one would be easier, but really it's not. Okay, so I'm going to put my second crimp over both wires, just like I did the other one. Move it down and just crimp it right above the other one. And that way, it's just a, well, I don't have it over both wires. It's just a extra reinforcement. And your clamshell is going to close over both of them, so you're not going to see either one. There we go. Crimp that down. Now I'm going to close the clamshell. And there we have it. Okay? Just looks like a little bead. Straighten it up if you need to. Now I'm going to take, I was going to use my jump ring, but I don't even think I need to use the jump ring. I'm just going to take my ear wire and put this right on. Maybe. And that way, I don't have the extra room that the jump ring would make me have. And there it is. Super cute. It really did turn out cute, even though I wasn't liking what was going on there for a few minutes. I like it. So I'm going to go ahead and make my second one now, and I'll be right back. Okay, so let me just tell you why I'm doing this. This is a little easier. So I counted these. I have 13 per side. So I'm just going ahead and putting the 13 on here, bead bugging one end, putting the 13 on, then putting this guy on, and then I'm going to do the 13 on the other side. So 1, 2, 3, and then 10 more. Come on now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 3 more. 8, 9, 10. And that's just a little bit of an easier way to do it. So now I'm just going to do the same thing that I did before. I'm going to get these together, these 2 wires, and I won't make you watch this part again because it is a fiddly and a struggle, but I'm doing the same thing that I did on the other one now. Okay, so I got my second earring done. I gotta say, I probably will not make these earrings like this again. They are super frustrating, and I got one bigger than the other one. Don't ask me how I did that, but I did. So I'll either have to remake it, or maybe it won't be noticeable if it's a cross with your head in the middle. I don't know. We'll see. But anyway, struggles, let me tell you guys, I struggle too. So anytime you think that it all comes out perfect, no, it does not. But anyway, it turned out pretty cute for the most part. Like I said, I'm not crazy about the earrings, but that's all I really had to work with because I didn't have enough of these, didn't have enough of these, and didn't really have enough of these to do much more. So, you know, I was down to this. So anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you're interested in subscribing to either Sam's Bead Box or Bargain Bead Box, I do have tons of links or tons of videos on my playlist for both. And I do have some coupon codes. I have a $5 off coupon code for Sam's and a $2 off coupon code for Bargain Bead Box. So if you would like to check that out, you can. And again, please sign up for my Facebook group. I'm going to be doing D-Stash auctions on there. And yeah, some really nice stuff. And the money is going to go to benefit my sister-in-law. My brother-in-law just passed away. And I'm going to do some auctions to raise some money for her to be able to deal with some of the expenses. Yeah, so anyway, guys, thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Bye!